We're going to have to give it a couple minutes to load up and see if it is working. Hello? I'm not streaming Fight Forever. I'm streaming NBA 2K26, but I'm not changing it. Hello, hello, hello? Forgot to clip. I hope y'all saw that down there. Saw something about pretzels. Caught my eye. Say with that about what you will. I think everything was working. We got a long monologue, a long opening. I will go ahead and admit this might be a long video. Who knows? Who knows? So we've been away from this series for about a month. It's been 3 weeks, but I'm going to round it and say about a month because something really freaking dramatic happened in real life in which the Memphis Grizzlies traded away Jaren Jackson Jr. And I made a whole video outside of this series talking about it. And it still hurts. I think it will hurt for quite a while. I'm going to say I'm over it, but in all actuality, kind of not over it. I'll probably talk about it throughout the course of this video. Don't want to take up too much time with it Now, this is going to be something different. This is going to be just something different. In my everyday life, I use wrestling terminology because wrestling has been a part of my everyday life for as long as I can remember. And I know that is crazy, and especially crazy because we're supposed to be talking about basketball. We're having a brand split. We've been away for a month, and I've been pondering and thinking, what the hell do I do with this series? Do I continue the series? I was put on a hiatus because I didn't really know what to do, and I came up with this resolution. We're going to have a brand split. Now, what is a brand split in terms of wrestling and the WWE in quotations? There's a certain roster that is used on Mondays. That is Monday Night Raw. There's a certain roster used on Fridays. That is SmackDown. It's 2 different rosters, but they are under the same umbrella. So that's what we're doing here. We're going to have 2 different rosters, but under the same umbrella of series. Because if you notice, Power Rank 22nd, Conference Rank 11th. When we left off on this series, that is not where we're at. When we left off on this series, this is not what our roster looked like. This is a different save. And I'm going to back out of it and show you that, hey, where we left off in the series last time around, hey, that's still here. That's here, right here. I'll click on it just for y'all to be certain. Y'all see my handsome My Career player? I got a rant on that in a minute. So here's that here. Now, my goal, keyword is goal. I'm going to try. The 2 keywords here is try and goal. My goal is to try and to do 2 episodes a week. And brand split wise, one roster will be used on Thursdays. The other roster will be used on Saturdays. So for my goal for the next however long is Wednesday, Friday, Saturday. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday uploads. Wednesday uploads, retro reviews. We've taken a break on them as well because a lot of the shows I was trying to review I couldn't find, and I just didn't really want to half-ass it. And B, I don't have as much free time as I used to. Thursdays, we're going to be using this roster that we're going to construct throughout this video. It's going to be the rebuild roster. I don't like using the word rebuild, but that's the simplest word. It is the word to describe what the hell's going on here. The rebuild roster. Fridays, as always, and has been, unless something changes, because, that could happen. Fridays, ROH reviews. Those are the main videos I've been making for the past 155 plus weeks. This week's ROH seems to be loaded, and there seems to be some news with ROH, but we're not here to talk about that now. And then Saturdays is the roster that we've been using for the past however many episodes in our Memphis Grizzlies franchise. So, to recap in this circumstance, I'm going to have a competing roster. I want to have a rebuilding roster, but they will be uploaded on 2 separate days. And in this video, we are constructing the rebuild roster. So We're starting from February 25th. We lost to the Warriors tonight. I was asleep for the second half, but I did watch the first half, and I mainly decided to sleep because A, I don't really want to be watching freaking Brandon Podgamski hoops all night, and B, Al Horford. Now, granted, he's been on the East for most of his career, but it seems that any time he played against the Grizzlies, he has done us up in the last however many years. So I got over. I was really over it. I didn't want to watch the rest of the game. I guess we're trying to lose. Now, I should also say this right now. I know some of the players in the draft. I know some of the college players. Once football season happened, that is when I, quote unquote, locked in to college basketball. I've been watching a lot more college basketball. I spent all day Saturday watching college basketball. This past Saturday, I should say. The Tennessee and Vanderbilt game was great. The big game of the day was obviously, the two big games were Houston and Arizona and Duke, Michigan, which was 1-3, which has changed since then. But, I don't know every freaking guy in the draft. That is another reason I have pondered what the hell I was going to do. So I'm not going to say I've spent the past month locking in on the draft, but I know who I want to see on this team. Granted, and I said this several times, whatever the hell I want or whatever the hell I say, most of the time the opposite happens. So take that as you will. So I'm trying to think. I don't remember either one of these games in real life. Okay, actually, I freaking do. Actually, I do. I just didn't remember them being back-to-back. I thought there was a space in between them, but that's kind of crazy looking at it now. It's been a blur. It has been a freaking... I don't remember this. Actually, I do remember this game. Because Jaren didn't play in this game. A lot of the guys didn't play this game. Then they came back and played in this game. And that was Jaren's last game. Okay. Refreshing myself. So, we're 7 minutes in. The goal here is we're going to start our rebuild roster. I'm going to rant and ramble throughout the course of this. I should also show y'all I don't plan on playing Ja and Edie for the rest of the season. Another thing, all right, rant number one. Rant freaking number one. Ty Jerome, I like Ty Jerome. Don't have a problem with Ty Jerome. If y'all remember in the competing roster, when Ty Jerome started playing, he had number 11, which is a big no-no, because that was Mike Conley's number. His number in real life is number 2, Ty Jerome's. I started this. They still had him as number 11. I was like, you know what? Screw this. Let me play an actual game with the start to like the actual rosters. They have his number as number 11. That is not his number. So shame on you, 2K. Shame on you. Another shame on you, 2K. And this one is it's probably for a lot of people. I've experienced this. I have a lot of tattoos on my career player, and for some reason they just randomly disappear. And I emailed 2K support about it. And the freaking... All right, this is going to be important. I love GG. GG's played well for us. I don't think this is going to happen in real life, but because I'm able to do it, let's go ahead and give him an extension. Because they give us that option. Why? I don't really know. Taylor Hendricks asked for a lot of money. I should also show y'all the rotation. Because it's the rotation for now. This is kind of how. I'm not even want to say really that's how it is in real life, but we got a lot of point guards on the roster. Back to the tattoos. I emailed the 2K support about it. Like, my tattoos disappeared, and I showed pictures of me with the tattoos and then me without the tattoos. And the person, I should say, because they said, go to the tattoo shop and get the cheapest tattoo, and your other tattoos will reappear. And I was like, okay, that's fine and dandy. But that also, I did it the first time around, but that's just scamming, in my opinion, especially for this company. And we know they love their freaking money. That's just scamming because it keeps happening and happening. Fix your freaking game. Come on now. What the hell? So I did it the first time around, but like my tattoos appear and freaking reappear, and it bothers the hell out of me. So that's rant number 2. And at some point, if it keeps happening, I'm gonna freaking tweet about it. So Omax has played great for us in real life. I think, don't I have to, am I allowed to sign him for the rest? I thought I signed him for the rest of the year. I just guess I called him up for the rest of the year. Or signed for the remainder of the year. Boom. Okay, that's fishy. Ryan Repair, which is hilarious because there's a freaking A in between all that. I think he's on a 10-day anyway, so. Boom. Shout out to Max. He's done. All right, can I do this as well? Hold on. Nope, because the contract extension already happened. That's hilarious. And I did see somewhere that said they were going to work on giving him an extension for the rest. I also don't think Ron Repair appeared on this freaking, on this. As they've changed, or minutes-wise, it stayed the same, but freaking who's playing and who, where has freaking changed. They could start in the rain. They're trying to start Taylor Hendricks. I want Jalen Wells starting. Boom, 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 boom. Well, I have much long. I got like 2 weeks left now. There's a lot to rant about. Like I said, as we finish as the 13th seed, let's make our friends and try to. Bro, how the hell you expect us to go from 13 to the finals? I'll try, but you know, it's kind of crazy. Jokic wins another MVP. I'm intrigued to see how this injury, like the 65-game rule, works, because I remember when they like announced it, they said, shout out to Kata, I think this should be Ron Rollins, but it's not somebody egregious, so I'll allow it. When the 65-game rule started, I think they said if they have like actionable reasoning and they're like they're hovering around it, but they miss the limit, that they would allow it, and that might be a case that happens in real life. But who the hell knows? We've got an intriguing MVP race going on as Jamal Murray makes second team. We got injuries going into the playoffs for some of these teams. I don't know how the severity of James Harden injury is just yet. But, you know, some of this is not our problem. Cedric Callard did make All-NBA first. Rookie. Bro, All-NBA first team this first year would be crazy. Rookie first team. So good on Coward. Don't like seeing the Suns there. Now, where is Orlando? Orlando is at 9, which is kind of crazy. So I should also say this. Because, again, I got a lot to freaking say. A Thunder Clippers first round with the Clippers winning is crazy. The Wolves make the finals. I bet I didn't see the other team. Is it going to be the Knicks? The Knicks continuously make the finals on here. Who the hell's going to win the battle of the Randall Cat trade? And it's Minnesota. Normally it's New York. Good on them. And good on Mike Conley to win a ring after I've already mentioned him in this video. This season is done. I still don't really know how the hell this thing works because I've not gotten this far yet in any of my things that I've done. I've not even seen this. I know like this. I still don't know how this stuff works. Sorry to raise the prices so much. Luxury prices I will raise. You know, y'all got that type of money. Y'all can deal with that. This is where I don't get where, like, I have to take stuff away. And we get one back. Alright, we'll leave it. I still really don't know how that stuff works. It is what it is. LeBron, I'm allowed to come back for one more year. Don't make a decision that makes this look ridiculous. You know what, Philly? I'm going to save y'all and let Paul George retire. Russ, you're getting one more year. Dallas, I'm going to save y'all. A lot of these other players probably will retire. Mike Conley, shout out to you. Kelly Olynyk, you're getting one more year. Wow! That one's crazy. And why the hell is it so low down here? Curry, you get one more year, but like, that would be crazy. If I just skipped that, that would have been. Chris Paul, wow, that's so sad. It's so sad, but like, it's what happened in real life. I thought this said Mark Williams for a second. Mo Bamba, you getting one more year. I'm going to have to keep going and going. Now, it's raining. Now it's starting to rain. I thought it was raining for a while. It was just now starting to. Imani Bates. There's been like a tweet going around talking about how he's like a big deal. You know, he's retiring. Lamar Stevens, shout out. He played for the Grizzlies. Marvin, it's not Marvin It was Marcus. I saw that it was Marcus the whole time. Cam Reddish, always wanted like the Grizzlies to give him a chance, and that never happened. All right, we're going a little bit, bro. Like these are notable names that are like down here. The more and more we go, so I feel the moment I stop. All right, I need to pause and say this. I've done test runs of what I'm trying to do here. Shout out Derrick Rose. And change. I don't like making any of these changes. I never do. All right, this matters a lot. This matters a lot for us. All right, I'm going to call a timeout here. So I've done test runs of what I'm trying to do here in this rebuild was. And I've liked what I've done. And y'all probably would have too. But because I didn't film it, it doesn't really matter that much. But I will say it. In test number 1 of this, we got the number 1 pick. Now, I also want to preface this by saying there's one guy in this draft that I really want. The other guys I'd be satisfied with and would understand in drafting. But there's one that, like, I want on this team. That was in test number 1. The other thing, which is a more rarity than getting the number 1 pick, I was able to sign an assistant coach to be our head coach in Sam Cassell. Because normally on 2K, when you're trying to sign an assistant coach, the team that they're on blocks it. For some reason, somehow, some way, I was able to sign Sam Cassell to be our head coach. Now, Tomas Isolo, you know, he was put in a very weird spot and situation. And maybe he is a good head coach, but I see him and I sometimes just get mad. That's the simplest way that I could put it. The issue here is that a lot of these head coaches don't get fired in the offseason, and I want a actual person and not a 2K generated person to be our next head coach. So I'm still thinking about what the hell we're going to do there, because in the second test run, I was not able to sign Sam Cassell. I will say that there. Now, in the second test run, something else that happened that did not happen, and I just now realized it, is that KCP retired, and I think that helped free us up some money. So now we're going to have to figure out a way to handle that. But right now, we're worried about the draft lottery. We are at 12 and number 4, and we're going to let it play and ride out. So, I almost choked on my Diet Coke. Not Diet Coke. Not Dr. Pepper. Oh my God, it hurts. It burns. It burns. All right. So we are still at 12 from the Orlando Magic and the Desmond Bane trade. What I will say about the Magic, and I think the Jazz will experience it, I think that the Magic, they like their point guards. They like Suggs. They like Franz. They like Paulo. They like Wendell Carter. And they're like, okay, that means we need to really upgrade our shooting guard spot. The Bulls are now in the number 4. Sometimes I read this stuff down here. Sometimes I don't. Anyways, I think that they thought the Celtics and the Pacers would dramatically drop, which did happen with the Pacers, but did not happen with the Celtics, and that would automatically elevate them, and they're just kind of in the same spot that they were. So I thought the Magic were going to be a little bit better, but I'm not. It's nothing I'm going to lose sleep over. You know, it's a phrase that I use here a lot. Trying to concentrate on this, because now things do have to change. As the Clippers, is this from Indiana, so that means, okay, the Wizards are in the top 4 now. Oh, Jesus. I thought we were at 4. Okay. I will take that. I'm just keep drawing blanks. Let's worry about this, and then I'll start talking more. We're getting somewhere. We were getting somewhere. So we were projected in the top 4, and we are in the top 4. I will take it. We're getting somewhere. We are getting somewhere. I would wonder who our representative would be on that stage. I imagine it'd probably be Coward. Okay. We have the number 3 pick. There's no shortage of rumors on what. Okay, we do have. I'm glad that they mentioned that we do have 2 picks. We have the Bulls and the Kings here. As the Kings get the number 2 pick, and the Bulls get the number 1 pick. I tweeted this, and I'm going to go ahead and tell you all this now. I want Cameron Boozer on my team. And the reason in my second test run that I traded for the number 1 pick is because time and time again, Cameron Boozer ends up going number 1 here. So it is a it's a risk. It is a risk. So we're going to stop here. We're going to pause here for a second. I want Cameron Boozer on this team. I can see the Kings here and in real life. I think Darren Peters is going to end up on the Kings. It's just I have a feeling about that. I don't really know why. The Bulls, I think, should draft DeMontis. I think I'm willing to take the risk on them drafting him, and then we don't have to give up anything. We get Cam Boozer at 3. I'm hoping that's what happens. That's what I'm going to try to have happened. Now, this is the other thing. This is going to be the first big thing. This is the second. This is the first big thing to happen. We're about to do the second thing. And this one will hurt. All right. This is hilarious. This is not what I'm talking about. No. All right. We're pausing that. I do want to look. And I want to take the risk, at least, in trying to get either Sam Cassell or Frank Vogel to be our coach. Because I want someone that has NBA experience or has been an actual head coach. As Sam Cassell doesn't even pop up on here anymore for some reason. Maybe, I don't even really know why. But, Tomas Cicelo, maybe you get a chance somewhere else. I don't really know. But I'm ready, personally, to move on. So we are taking a risk in doing this. As I mentioned, that a lot of times the assistant coaches get blocked, but not always. So I'm going to go for Frank Vogel, who won a championship with the Lakers. We're going to even offer him the most money. Actually, we're not. We're going to save some. And then we're going to go for Sam Cassell. And if that doesn't happen, we'll just sign one of these auto-generated ones for 1 year. As I did see Sam Cassell's over. Darvin Ham would be interesting, but you know what? Screw it. How many offers do we get? We get 5. Sam Cassell, someone that in real life I wouldn't be that against. We'll offer Sam Cassell a deal, and we'll offer Darvin Ham a deal. I don't really know if the Bucks would be like, no, you can't, but they might be. They freaking might be. All right, we'll see what happens here. Okay. We're getting somewhere. So we did get Sam Cassell, which is good. I think maybe I had to offer him a 3-year deal. Because I don't think the last time, I think I offered a 2-year deal. So maybe it has to be like a big deal. But we have Sam Cassell as our coach for now. Don't know many others I went out of my way to get, but Sam Cassell, not upset with. If any of these other things need to change, they probably do. I'm not worrying about it now. Now, this is the thing that is really going to hurt. But I think it is the right thing to do. I love Ja Morant. I appreciate everything he's done for this franchise. He brought a lot of eyes to the Memphis Grizzlies, and I appreciate that. But I don't think it is right to keep him on this team without having Bane or Jaren or just a lot of the guys that he grew up with and he could, I hate saying this, but contended with not be on this team. And he does, he's on the bench all the time. He doesn't look that into it. He's not playing, There's a lot that we could analyze with that and whatnot, but I think it is the right thing to trade Ja Morant. And essentially, a lot of things went downhill when the report came out that the Grizzlies are not against it. So I don't really like doing it, but I think for the sake of the series to make it interesting, but more importantly, to do right by him, we're going to trade Ja Morant. We're not going to trade you to the Kings. Now, the one team I have traded to, I'm not. We'll see what happens, but we'll at least look at the offers. This would have happened in real life. We should have already done it. I love Ryan Rollins, but we're not going to do it. I'm not against Ja being on the Bulls. I think Ja on the Bulls would be great, especially pairing him with DeMontis. But we're not going to do it. Not that against it. I'm also trying to save money. This happened. All right, we're going to give it a first. I'm not that against this and having DeMar on our team as a mentor. But the literal words that just came out of my mouth was, I'm not sending him to the Kings. The Lakers didn't have Luka. All right, I'm lying to y'all. Dallas isn't that bad. I love Sadiq Bey. So much so that he's on our team on these Saturday shows. This was the trade that was like thrown out for so long, and Jakob Poeltl's deal is not. I'm fairly certain it's not 1 year. Look at that. That's how they trick you. That is exactly how they trick you. All right. We're going to Brooklyn. I would ask for the number 5 pick, but I want this pick. I want this pick. I want this pick, and I want some seconds. If you would do that. I see our name here, so. I wonder if that's from the freaking Zaire trade, by the way. So this saves us a lot of money and gives us flexibility into the future. And Brooklyn wants another star, and I think Ja would help there. And I don't know how much cap space they got, but I think they should have some to add somebody else, as they already have Michael Porter Jr. and Nick Claxton, who both, I believe Ja played with him in high school. I might be making that up. They definitely know each other because there used to be pictures of them playing together. And also, for my sake, I don't really want to see like a bunch of rookies on the Brooklyn Nets for year after year. And this isn't even giving up that much, in my opinion. So we'll see if they accept this, and they do. Shout out to 12 as he is moving on to Brooklyn. And now, we have $30 million in cap space. KCP is the interesting note. How much money is KCP making? I don't even think we could trade him right now because he's still hurt. This also keeps happening where Jalen Wells refuses to re-sign, even though we like started him and everything. Why is this happening? We'll see what he's saying. I guess because he... that's not how it works. I like Jalen Wells. I don't even really think he'd act like this in real life. I don't know why he acts like this on here. What? When was he an all-starter? I can understand why he's been. Anyways, KCP we got to go to now. Because in the second test run, KCP freaking retired and saved us a lot of money. And now, he's freaking injured. And still making a lot of money. So it's kind of, hindering us a little bit. Now, what am I trying to say? If I can't trade him, it's not the biggest deal. Let's put it that way. I'm not that against him being here as a mentor, but to open up cap space, I kind of want to trade him. Now, this is, all right. Again, I'm going to keep saying stuff in reference to these test runs. There are some teams on here that are a little stupid. That was kind of a mean word to say. There's teams that you could take advantage of. One of those teams is the Detroit Pistons. And I have a wish list over here in which I have wrote down proper power forward. The other thing that I have wrote down is backup center. Now, if I mention the Pistons, they have a proper power forward, or a backup center that I would like on this team. I wanted on this team for a hot minute. The first day that I did the day that I did the first test run was a infamous day in this player's history because I want Isaiah Stewart on this team. I've wanted Isaiah Stewart on this team because he does not get bullied around. We need a backup center because A, centers run out of stamina very, very quickly on this game. Zach Edey's the example. B, Zach Edey has been a bit injured. We need a proper backup center that could be a starter for us when needed. So I want Isaiah Stewart on this team. Granted, in free agency, there are a lot of good centers if that is not plausible. Now, the thing is, if Isaiah Stewart got traded in real life, I think the Detroit Pistons would try to beat the hell out of us and not allow it, which is understandable, especially for freaking Santi Aldama. But I've been able to have it. It's worked on here before, but time will tell if it will work again. So this might be all right. Can we get KCP to return back home? Okay, I can't do that yet. So I'm gonna propose this. If they accept it, I'm not gonna say it's on me, but Okay, I can understand that. So I think we're gonna revisit this trade when free agency starts and maybe try to get KCP involved in that. I don't know entirely yet. I'm also taking the risk because, again, like I said, I want Cam Boozer on this team, and we'll see how this goes. So let's go to the draft. Okay. We'll take it. Didn't even have to give up a pick. In real life, this is how this shit should go, in my opinion. And it lines us up. All right, I will look at the offers. I'm fairly certain. 34 offers. How the hell does that happen? I'm fairly certain I'm not trading this. Okay, this isn't even just for the freaking pick. It's for freaking Santi. Maybe they're going to make me go through the Santi trades first and then the ones for the pick. I think that's how that's about to go. Correct? No. All these picks involve, or now this freaking trades involved in the pick. All right, let me go back. I'm not trading this pick, but I would be a fool to not entertain it. I'm not against Jalen Johnson being on the team. I really like Jalen Johnson, but you go the cheaper and more youthful route. Giving up that, I don't really think that helps us. I don't even really know how much that helps Denver. But I've spoken into existence. Cameron Boozer, shout out. You're coming to the Memphis Grizzlies. No, we'll go through these. Now here comes the part. Look, I know Caleb Wilson. I know Nate Ament. I know Kingston Flemings. The thing is, it's kind of like where we are projected right now. Those are the guys I know Darius Acuff. After that, it gets a bit iffy. As the Clippers normally trade their pick on here for Kyle Kuzma most of the time, as they get in Dyson Daniels, who I don't know if that really helps. I don't think that helps him that much. That probably does not help him that much, but who knows? Braylon Mullins. I feel like I've heard him, but if you're to ask me something of a note, I don't know what to tell you. Keenan Wayne. All right. Darius Acuff has not got drafted, by the way. He's going to be gone in real life. There's a chance we could freaking get him here. Nope. It's fucking hilarious. Look. It's so hilarious that I dropped an F-bomb. I was trying not to, but I knew the moment I said, oh, we can get him here. No, I knew he was getting drafted. He's probably going to go a lot higher in real life. So we're going to get some offers. I wouldn't mind Isaiah Joe on this team, but, I'm not really trying to help the Thunder out. Dylan Brooks back on this team without everybody else, I think, would be a crazy thing to do. I don't really know how much this trade benefits us. Would not be that against that. Obi Toppin, I think, would be really... I think both of these guys would be good for our team. We already have a lot of point guards. I wanted Cam Johnson on this team for the longest time. I'm not trying to really help them out with taking Zeke Naji's contract. Danny Wolf. This is not the... All right. I told y'all about the backup center route, and that wouldn't be the worst thing. that trade. This one kind of would be. I'm not really trying to. In real life, there's a good chance that the Grizzlies freaking take bad picks or bad contracts. So that's the issue. All right. Christian. The issue here is I don't really know how many minutes whoever the hell we're going to draft is going to play. So for the sake of needing... I never really look at these. Let me back out or choose prospect. Boom. This is the issue, is that now we're at the point where I don't know these people. And I don't want to really... Koa Pete would be the pick here, but he is kind of low down here. So, you know what? Screw it. The Grizzlies always draft wings. And then to come back to question it. We have a second round pick, don't we? Elijah Arenas is the proper pick to make here. What pick is this? 36. It's not that low. Kate, you know what? Screw it. I feel like this is something that could happen in real life as well. Alright. So we got both Boozer brothers on the team now. Scottie Pippen Jr., we're keeping. Here's the thing. I know who I want to keep on this team. Taylor Hendricks might be screwed. I will admit that. But I want to give everybody at least a chance. That's the thing. And I don't know how much room we have to give everybody a chance, I will say. Jamal Meshack, I think, worst case scenario could be a D'Anthony Melton for us, but I think it could be a little bit better as well. So there's that. Okay. Here's what I'm going to say. In the second test run, because KCP retired, and this is why I'm trying to do that now, we freed up a lot of cap space. And again, I said there's a scenario to where you could take advantage of some teams. And the Lakers, a lot of times, do not sign. They sign big names, but people that might not fit their team. And Austin Reeves kind of qualifies for that. So we will be back here in a second, as I just want to explore around and see what's going on. All right, that makes sense. Yes, this is the interesting one. I know he ain't coming here, but I wouldn't be against LeBron being in San Antonio. I would be a little. I don't really want LeBron on the Warriors because that was his rival. I don't really want to see him team up with, like, that's his main rival. But if you had to ask, like, the Spurs, like, top 5 LeBron rival. They beat him in his first finals. They beat him in his last finals in Miami. He is the one notch in San Antonio's resume. I don't want to see him on, like, I'd rather see him on the Spurs than the Warriors. But, like, you know, I don't want to see him on there. But out of these other teams, out of these teams listed, I would rather see him on the Spurs than anywhere else. But again, there's probably a chance he just goes back to the Lakers. Now, again, like I said about the Lakers, this is why we can maybe swoop in and get. I would rather Reeves come to us than to go. We'll see. We'll see what happens. Granted, if we didn't have Zach Edey, I would be clearing out everything to get Jalen Duren. I like Zach Edey. I don't really want to get rid of Zach Edey. And especially, again, hilarious that I told y'all I'm targeting Isaiah Stewart. To pair Stewart and Duren back together obviously would make a lot of sense. But again, I'm not trying to completely screw over Detroit. Granted, they're not trying to screw over themselves. They offered him the most money. It's just going to be a case of what he wants to do. Also, he's a restricted free agent. I saw that it said RFA. So he should be able to go back to Detroit. So we'll see what happens there. I'm trying to see other notable names. That one's not that crazy. Now, Walker Kessler is someone else that kind of fits into that category because maybe Utah. I don't need Utah to be good. I would be against signing Walker Kessler just to screw over Utah to help our picks out. is where I was getting at there. So I will do this, and this might end up screwing over Detroit, but if they accept it, that's on them. That's not on me. Told you I wanted Isaiah Stewart. I'm willing to offer them Santi Aldama and KCP. Will they accept that? Probably not, but we're about to see. Also, where did Detroit finish last year? I'm sorry that I keep burping, but that is what freaking Dr. Pepper does. How do I see this? League news. This is hilarious that I can't see where the playoffs was, because that's what I was looking. All right, there. I'm sorry. I'm a bit of an idiot. All right, Detroit did make it to the conference finals at least, and 7 games against Cleveland. That would be 2 7-games series in the East. That'd be good. That'd be good basketball. In the first round, Detroit also went to the freaking 7 games. In the East, Rockets Nuggets would be a good 7-game series. All right, if I just put both of these guys into the trade finder. Again, I'm not that against keeping KCP for veteran presence, but if I could clear out the money, then obviously I would do it. It's also going to be a case of like he's not playing, he's just there for veteran presence. Cam Johnson and Christian Braun mainly just can't see. How could I do this and get Isaiah Stewart? Because I want Isaiah Stewart. That's like, I'll say that. So they have to include Christian Braun. No, they have to just include $10 million-ish, which would be Zeke Naji or Valanciunas, which is hilarious because Valanciunas said he would retire. Also forgot that Valanciunas was on the Grizzlies for a hot minute. So I don't think this trade. Hey, for us, I wanted Cameron Johnson on this team in real life last offseason to help us contend, to help us retool. I'm not entirely against it. Again, I just feel salty that it happens a year too late. I can somewhat talk myself into this because they're going to have to freaking try to find money to extend Peyton Watson / playing time for Peyton Watson, which they're adding a lot more money here. They're losing their money here. It's the same. It's like a $5 million difference. Because I'm probably trading Valanciunas, or worst case scenario, keeping as I'm probably going to trade him. Because if I can trade Valanciunas and maybe something else to get Isaiah Stewart, then we're really cooking. But again, I don't know where the playing time comes for Cam Johnson. Where I'm getting at as well is they can have Santi come off their bench and start Peyton Watson, and they're bringing KCP back who won a title with them. So we'll see what they say here. This is not the most unreasonable trade. They're trying to get picks involved. They also want to get rid of Christian Braun, like I said, probably for money reasoning. Now, we have 1, 2, 3, 4 first-round picks next year. We got 2 in 2028, 2 in 2029, 2 in 2030. Oh, we're cooking. It's cooking. The issue here is I don't need to include picks. And I just know whatever pick I give up is going to be the freaking valuable pick. So that is the issue with giving up a pick. I think this one actually, because I think Cleveland and Minnesota is probably going to be good. So that would be the pick I'm willing to give up. I'm not even trying to that much. But if I had to give up a pick, it would be that one. They're trying to ask for another one and Christian Braun. I'm no A, low-key think y'all need Christian Braun. B, I'm not trying to pay Christian Braun. C, I'm definitely not trying to give up another pick. I'm trying to keep as many seconds as I can as well, and because we only had 4. I can get seconds easily, but it's just also like we're just starting right away. I'm not trying to give them up right away. They're still asking for a freaking first. They still want us to take Christian Braun. All right, this is the most I'm willing to offer is another freaking second. I'm not giving up another first. I'm willing to give up one. This is asking a lot already. Okay. We're getting somewhere. So Cameron Johnson, I wanted on this team. We're probably going to keep him. Valanciunas, I'm not that against keeping it. It's also funny because I'm pretty sure he said he was retiring after this season, and so the Nuggets kind of benefited from that a little bit. So I'm also trying to benefit from that and not get screwed over. So going to Detroit. If he would traded to a contending team, I don't necessarily think he would do that. So if I just did this straight up, we'll see what they say. Okay. I love Kyle Anderson. I wanted him here as a veteran presence. It's also, again, it's a game. Okay. Let me get a sip of Dr. Pepper because we're getting somewhere. We're getting somewhere. The thing here is, logically speaking, veteran presence we can just sign. We can sign a veteran presence. B, I just told y'all, like, the main reason I want to trade Giles, like, most of the guys that he played with, most of the guys he, like, grew up with are not here. So I wanted to, like, do right by him and give him a new situation. So, again, it'd be hilarious as hell if we're bringing back our, the OGs in Valanciunas and Anderson, and the guys that they were here with originally aren't here. So I don't think this trade, no way in hell this would happen in real life. We're getting another 2027 first-round pick that we probably top 3 protected. Detroit's not going to be that bad, so I think that we would actually get that pick. I get confused as hell with the freaking pick protections, but I wanted Isaiah Stewart on this team. They get some center reassurance. Again, not even that much of a center reassurance, but I hope I didn't screw them over in getting or bringing back Jalen Duren, because I'd rather him go there than the Lakers. So they still can offer him that. Now we can offer Reeves money. But we're gonna keep looking around. We're not done yet. We're not done yet. Brandon Clark, I love, but again, it's the finishing of an. What's the channel? Secret Base. I already forgot y'all's old name that I always call y'all, but now that I need to call it that, I've already blanked on it. Secret Base. They do the timeline videos of how this, and they show the guys there. And Brandon Clark is the last one here for us. I hate that for him, but how many people do we have on our roster right now? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. We already got 15 people on the roster. So we need to realistically trade Brandon Clark somewhere that we don't get a player back. Can we get some seconds for Brandon Clark? I don't really know what team has that ability. I always wanted Mikal Bridges on this team. Where could I go? It's team intel, where I can see teams that have cap space. I thought this said Detroit at 77. They have they're going to be screwed. I want to send Brandon Clark to Toronto because I know he is from Canada. But I don't even think I could just straight up. We're the only team with cap space, I think, as well. Actually, the Lakers. If I sim day, all right, let's do this. I don't want to risk anything. All right. Austin Reeves. I like Austin Reeves. I would like him a lot more if he was not on the Lakers. A. B, we have the same name. I think that kind of the only thing I like about him. C, he has done very well. And I don't want to say he has killed us or just did us up. But a lot of times Austin Reeves goes off against the Grizzlies. Go back to the playoffs and look at it. So, with us signing him, he doesn't have that ability. For him to do that, it would be self-inflicting. To hurt the Grizzlies anymore, it would be self-inflicting. Now, I have heard so much the Grizzlies can't sign free agents. Free agents don't want to go to Memphis, et cetera, et cetera. I understand that sentiment. I understand it. Do I respect it? Do I agree with it? Not necessarily. I also think if we end up in a situation to where the Grizzlies have the money to offer a free agent, I think they might be tuning down their thoughts on it. I think they would think about it at least. And this is a situation to where we're not going after LeBron or James Harden or Trae Young. Jalen Duren is understandable / reasonable. Porzingis, Valanciunas, or Vucevic, some of the out of these free agents available at the top, this is the most reasonable one. And we have the cap space. where all these other teams don't necessarily have the cap space. We have the cap space. And we're screwing over the like I've talked myself into it when I did the second test run. So I'm at least going to offer it and see what happens from there. Because look at all these other teams. The Lakers aren't even on here. They want Jalen Duren. So this might not be the most realistic contract in real life, but on 2K they've kind of done a lot better than in real life. But we got a team option, $26 million for a guy that was a borderline all-star this year. Nobody wants to come to Memphis. Hey, we might have to overpay a little bit, which, granted, this is what is marketed. I can't even really say it. This is what is marketed. It's just teams don't have the money for it. So it doesn't hurt to offer it, in my opinion. And we got picks and players to where if it just doesn't work out, we could work something out to get out of it. Granted, most situations in the NBA, if it doesn't work out for one season, we got a 3-year deal, 3 strikes and you're out. That first season, hey, you're really trying. We're trying to see how it goes. The second season, if it really doesn't work out, well, next season is just not going to happen because we got the team option. But if it really works out, we will see where the hell it goes. Now, obviously, 2027 is the big free agency class, and we might have to tap dance around and figure out things there. But I think it helps us to take advantage now, not be patient. Do this now, and we'll see where things happen for that 2027 free agency. We'll see what happens there because that is the big free agency. This one's somewhat big compared to previous couple years. It's also we just don't get that many moves anymore or changes. So I'm going to offer it. I don't think it hurts to offer it. Peyton Watson. I try to help Denver out and clearing out some cap space to bring him back, but also they're trying to trade us Christian Braun. But we'll see what happens there. Hartenstein, I wouldn't be that against to freaking hurt OKC's chances, but I really wanted Isaiah. Isaiah Stewart was on my wish list. Tari Eason, I think this is, as a Grizzlies fan, this is not the week to put over or talk about Tari Eason, but in real life, I'm going to wink. Cameron Thomas, I'm intrigued to see where the hell he goes because he normally sounds like a $5 million contract on a random team. I think the same thing is going to happen with these three kind of are in the same similar situation. Clippers going to bring back John Collins. I love Russ. I don't know where he thinks he's getting that money from. Bring Jock Landale back. Now, the backup plan, I will admit, if we couldn't get Isaiah Stewart and they were the Pistons are no, we're not going to trade him. Mitchell Robinson was going to be the backup plan. Granted, again, we have the money to sign Mitchell Robinson and screw over the Knicks, but I don't even know how much room we got left for center and playing wise because we will have to trade Brandon Clark. Omax is also not here. I forgot about Omax. We could just about sign anybody except for the top two, right? No, I'm lying to myself. We have the money for Jalen Duren, by the way. Marvin Bagley back. I think about Marvin Bagley a lot, and he's been going off for the Mavericks as of recently, and I very much think about in the playoffs in the very first game, that was a very egregious game for us that Marvin Bagley is our best player. Time Lord, I would love, but he would have been better in our previous era. Jalen Williams as well. All right. Quentin Grimes, wow, he's a 77 overall. Good for Philly. They took I can't even say that because I've been seeing a lot of Philly slander because they traded away Jared McCain, and they've just had some very questionable moves over the past couple of years. Okay. So LeBron went back to the Lakers. I wouldn't have been against him going to the Spurs. Detroit were able to keep Jalen Duren. Porzingis hilariously goes back to Atlanta on a pretty big deal. I don't think they would do that. Peyton Watson went back to Denver, so good on the two teams that I wanted to benefit from our trades. We're still able to benefit. Granted, we don't really need Detroit to benefit that much because we have their pick. We have a Denver. We didn't get a pick from Denver. Vucevic to Phoenix. It's okay. Kevin Porter Jr. to Washington. Nurkic. The Clippers need as many centers as they can get. IMO. I don't think this is ever going to happen. I don't think this is like I don't really want it to happen. Ratchamora, this has happened in both of the other rough drafts. Him ended up in Denver. So Marvin Bagley on the Warriors is not the worst thing. As much as I would have liked him back here, but I didn't go after him, so I can't complain. That's hilarious. Even more so, the contract size. So now we're back over here. Walker Kessler, Isaiah Hartenstein. Okay, he's got some pretty reasonable size contracts. We don't have any money to get him now, but like I said, I mainly would have done it to screw over the Thunder. Let's think this through. Jay Navi is doing well. He would have been someone I would have took a chance on, but the point guard spot is where we are most filled out. So here's the issue. We need to go after a third center, but more so one that could actually. It is actually good, A, and B. Let's see. How am I trying to put this? Actually good and actually willing to be the third string center. So Mitchell Robinson, I think, is a little bit higher and better than that. Granted, if the Knicks aren't trying to offer money, then that's on them. Drummond might fit that. Kinda does fit that. J Huff, shout out. Time Lord fits that. Jalen Williams is actually who I was trying to go after. As much as I like Omax is probably not coming back for us, sadly. Who was I just putting over? Mitchell Robinson. I think Mitchell Robinson is a little bit better than Jalen Williams, but again, it's just kind of me trying to screw over the Thunder. Granted, they probably would want us to do this. So sorry to Omax if he's not coming, because he's probably not coming back because we definitely don't have any roster space now. So forgot about Cam Johnson as well. Shout out to Brandon Clark. We're gonna try to put you in a good situation. Worst case scenario would probably just send him to the Jazz to be with Jaren. Oh my God, why does Jakob Poeltl have such a big contract? This is not the worst case scenario. I love Steve-O, and we're getting the first out of that. That would be a great trade for us, but I don't think that's that realistic. Is kind of the issue there. I don't want that mother effer anywhere near our team. I'm trying to get some second-round picks back. That's what we need to be going for. Josh Hart, I would have loved on this team, but I don't know if I would now. But, so we have to include somebody. Who would I be willing to include? Taylor Hendricks is kind of the, oh my God, why does he have such a high value? All right, let's do this. I probably shouldn't have signed Austin Reeves just based on the amount of talent and players that we have on our roster. But it's also the case of I wanted to take advantage of us having the cap space. Cameron Johnson is the one that was like, oh, I didn't really expect that. That's kind of the one that is the shocker, and put in quotations. Also, lost in between all this is the number 3 pick, Cameron Boozer. So Jalen Williams is our third string center. Brandon Clark is who we're trying to trade now. Because right now, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. So we got to trade 2 people or get rid of 2 people. Taylor Hendricks, I'm not against that being. I just was very flabbergasted that he had that high of a trade value. And again, I'm trying to give all these people as much of a chance as I can. Kaden Boozer also might get screwed over here, which, I'm not really trying to ruffle the feathers of our number 3 pick, but that might end up what happening. I have a very soft spot for Scottie Pippen Jr., so that's why I was not trying to trade him just now. And then Walter Clayton Jr. Again, I want to give a chance. Again, I want to give a chance to Taylor Hendricks as well, because they are the main things right now of the Jaren trade. Cam Spencer is kind of getting screwed all this because I feel like he's the one that's not going to get any play time. Ty Jerome is also. Ty Jerome, I want to see on the Grizzlies and like actually play and actually competing basketball for the Grizzlies. Let's put it that way. So right now I'm trying to make a hierarchy of who needs to stay and who needs to go. Taylor Hendricks, I don't really know when he would get a chance for us. And he has high trade value. Also is an expiring contract asking a lot of money. Granted, there's no way I'm re-signing with this team after the season. The funny thing is, you're going to be restricted. And he's the 9th pick. That's kind of crazy. Oh, my God. We're getting... This is crazy. All right. If I put Brandon Clark and Taylor Hendricks in the trade finder, what do we get? Jalen Wells has also got that same mentality with us for some reason. I would have... I'm not saying anything. We could get an actual rotation player for these two. Granted, if I could get... now we're having to give up a second-round pick. Malik Monk. I wanted to put him in a good situation, but Sacramento's not really that. But a Sacramento first-round pick is... All right, Sacramento first-round pick sounds... Next year's draft, too. Holy crap. Is this actually Sacramento's pick? It is. Okay. I'm sorry to do this to them, but we need to create roster spots, and we're just going to be stockpiling stuff now. So I'm sorry to BC to send you here. Taylor Hendricks should get a chance here, to be fair. He's got a better chance here than he does with us. So, in real life, wouldn't necessarily condone it, but because his freaking trade value went down. But a freaking Sacramento Kings first-round pick next year, and Malik Monk, who I feel like we could just flip it immediately as well. So I prefer it to be a team where I don't get... Okay, that's a little more difficult than expected. We don't really have as much veteran presence as I'd like, but we're asking a lot on Cam Johnson and Ty Jerome. I don't want to get rid of Jalen Wells. I don't. But it doesn't hurt to look. Because right now, I got a haircut today, and the only reason I mentioned it is because I had a hair in my mouth. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. We need to get rid of one spot, one player. Caden Boozer is kind of the blinking of that. Jalen Wells, I don't really want to get rid of, but he's also kind of the blinking of that as well, because we have Cameron Johnson, who would probably... Cameron Johnson also is the one that we could just... it doesn't hurt to look. I want him on this team. But it doesn't hurt to look. If we're getting, like, a decent player and pick, which has not been the offer. He's also an expiring contract. Time has run out. I'm thinking of testing my... He also signed back on, like, a reasonable deal, so... I don't mind Cameron Johnson being our vet. And I don't really even like saying that, because he's the same draft class as Ja. So, there's that as well. How many point guards do we have on our roster? 1, 2... Oh, I forgot about Malik Monk. No. 2, 3, 4, 5 now. I don't want to... Like, we need to trade Malik Monk and Jalen Wells... I would only do this. I want Jalen Wells to stay with us for as long as he can. I would only be willing to do this because of the refusal to re-sign. And I think he is the only person on our team that is not. All right, Cam Spencer is not happy as well. He's probably not going to be that much more happy because he's probably not going to get as much playing time as he is in real life. Jalen Wells would be the only, I don't like doing this. Now, if I included this last second-round pick, I'm looking for picks back, which all these right now are players. Because if you're to ask me, I'm going to write this down. We would be Jerome, Reeves, Coward, Boozer, and Edie as our 5. Then we got Clayton Jr., Pippen Jr., Johnson, Jackson, and Stewart. Then we have Cam Spencer, Koa Pete. I hope that's how you say his name. And Jalen Williams, which gives us our reasoning, and Boozer, Caden Boozer. So right there, that's 14. Then we have the because you have 15 spots for Wells. So that's the look. All right. The thing with doing this is kind of makes it lean into, oh, you traded away Jalen. I don't want to trade away Jalen Wells. I don't really want to trade any of these guys away, but one of them has to go with Monk. Now I'm willing to trade Cam Spencer based on value. It's also a case of these two got a lot of playing time with us, mainly due to injuries. This is a crazy-ass trade. If it was 1 year, I probably would do it. But it's actually 3. Was that a team option? No, I think that was a player option. I think that was a freaking player option. I was looking at Cam Spencer. It's also a case of, like I said, we have 4 other point guards. There's also a case of, like, Wells is probably the one that's not getting playing time, which sucks. I wanted Caruso on this. I was talking to somebody about this, and I was like, imagine if we traded it for Alex Caruso instead of Marcus Smart. I think we'd be in a little bit better of a position. Not a way better, but a little bit better of a position. I will admit, a Warriors first-round pick next year, especially with Steph, he already retired once. All right. I think if Pat Spencer is still on this team, I would actually do it, which hilariously enough, he is not. And I will admit, we're getting rid of Draymond ASAP, you know. There was probably like a time and place you could have talked me into trading for Draymond or having Draymond on this team. There's the alleged rumor that he wanted to be on this team. I'm damn sure not giving you up GG Jackson. That extra first round pick is a bit intriguing. Here's the thing. Just because I'm doing it on here doesn't mean I would do it in real life. Granted, if the opportunity came, I might. Because there's not a player on my Grizzlies team right now that I'm like, get him off the team immediately. I'm not that type of fan. I actually endorse and support all the players on our team right now. There was a time, Kokoff, Dylan Brooks, where it's a bit different. Just because I'm doing this on here doesn't mean I'll do it in real life. That's what I'm trying to preface this all with. So, because we have this is the toughest decision I said the Ja one. The Ja one was not tough of trading him. It was just like, it was the end of an era. We need to get rid of it. So, Malik Monk. Back to Malik Monk. I'm mainly doing this for the sake of Jalen was not wanting to be on the team. And when I wrote down our first rotation, he's the first guy out. So, whatever the better package is. Because Cam Spencer also was a freaking 80 overall. So that's what kind of benefited us there. It'd also be crazy because like Jalen Wells also didn't really do anything to not be in the rotation. So that's why this is more difficult than I want it to be. Putting protections on second-round picks, I think, is insane, by the way. Caruso's third. If Caruso did, I feel like Caruso just extended. If Caruso didn't just extend, I probably would have done this one. So I'm trying to get picks out of this. Granted, I know I'm giving up a second, but I'm trying to get an actual pick out of this. There would have been a time I wouldn't have minded Keegan Murray on this team. I don't really. That time's not right now. If the draft goes differently, maybe. I feel bad for Rob Dillingham. I feel bad for Rob Dillingham because I feel like he just hasn't gotten a chance. But also I feel like he's not getting that chance here. Now, is Malik Monk and Jalen Wells going to get that chance here? I think so. And getting a bull. Oh my God, this is so difficult. This is a lot difficult than it needs to be, is the best way to put this. The Bulls are trying to get Walker Kessler, which is hilarious. And, good on them. Actually, you know what? I'm not going to make the trade with the Bulls for the fact that I want them to get Walker Kessler. That way the Jazz might be bad and help our pick out. No, do we even have the Jazz pick next year before I'm talking all this shit? We don't. So that is hilarious. 5 first-round picks next year as well already. 2 in 2028, 2 in 2029, and 2 in 2030. I'm trying to get some seconds. That is what I'm trying to do, I will say. If I just do Malik Monk. How many people do we have on the roster right now? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. So, we can have 15 on the roster. I just need to find a team that I can trade Malik Monk to and preferably get value out of, and then we go from there. So, I didn't even have to include these other guys, but, it didn't hurt to look. That being said, I'm going to have to get some pick out of this. I'm not just giving up Malik Monk for nothing, because kind of what Sacramento did. Because Malik Monk is not that bad of a player. Returning back home to Charlotte and get picks out of it, I think that is the way to go, but I'm going to keep looking, obviously. Boom. All right, now we got 15 guys, correct? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Anybody? Okay. And thank you to Charlotte. Because now we got more cap space. Will I be using it? Not this offseason. I kind of sucks that we don't have quote unquote veteran, and I'm putting that in quotations, veteran presence. Because our oldest guy was in the 2019 draft class, correct? Because Kyle Anderson, I anticipated that being his role. But, if somebody was willing to give me a freaking first-round pick for Kyle Anderson, I was like, hey, I ain't saying no. So, we'll see where the hell everything goes. I am somewhat satisfied with all that. So, now we're going to have to freaking cut somebody because Jemima Meshack re-signed. I thought I announced that, but I guess not. Now the difficult thing is going to be rotation as well. Because I can't just automatically send him to the G League. And I would love to do that to Cannon Boozer as well, but it's not how this works. Jemima Meshack, I hope that you find a spot somewhere else. And I do think that you will, because you're pretty good. But apologies. User created. I'll also say this. Y'all saw my knowledge of the 2026 draft class. Why would I have that much of a knowledge of the 2027 draft class? So, while we do have 5 first-round picks right now, And we have a freaking road back-to-back to start the freaking season. All right. We're an hour and 15 minutes in here. I also have to film the other side of things. So the fact of having to wait another week to do another video does hurt. So I was going to make it more dramatic because we do. All right. Screw it. We're going to do one of these games at least. What pick did Chicago have? They had 2. No, they had 1. And they did get Walker Kessler. So, and Cam Thomas. All right. The Hawks brought back Porzingis, which is hilarious. It's a little bit funny. But at least they use their pick or their money wisely. The Heat, I'm not putting over anymore. As much as I love the Vice jerseys and I like Norman Powell, and Khalil Ware, I'm not putting over the Heat anymore. Malik Monk returned back to Charlotte, like I said. Hey, all right. The Jazz did sign Mitchell Robinson, which is not impossible in real life. They also have to commit a lot because they're about to have to pay Keontae George. They're already paying Jaren and Laurie a lot of money. So, and they got Quentin Grimes. Took him away from Philly. So it's kind of a 2-for-1. Walker Kessler for Mitchell Robinson and Quentin Grimes. Which, if you offer the Knicks that while both of them on the team, they might have accepted that. The Kings gave Ray their first-round pick to get Brandon Clark, while they already have a lot of centers. I will say this, that I will try to fix these injuries because a lot of guys that would already be back by now, like Halliburton, Tatum, and Lillard, I'll speed up their injury recovery process because for some reason on here that's not the case. The Knicks have a somewhat similar team. The Lakers do not have Austin Reeves anymore, but they do have Robert Williams, and also should have cap space for next offseason, which, again, like I said, is the big offseason. The Magic have a somewhat similar team. The Mavericks brought in Lou Dort, who I hate that I even mentioned his name, but it happened. I'm intrigued to see where Marvin Bagley went to the Warriors. I remember that. I wish the Nets would have signed somebody. They signed Jock Landale, but I wish they would have used some of their cap space to help 12 out, but I guess we'll see what they got before they go too in-depth with it. The Nuggets had a crazy offseason. Traded for Santi Aldama and signing Roy Hachimura and bringing back Peyton Watson, while also bringing KCP back home, quote-unquote. And I'll put him back at... I don't even think this helps him, but I'm doing it for my sake. It's also funny. I don't think they would also do that because if, they wanted KCP to make $20 million, they would have gave it to him when the time came. So like I said, I'll try to, in the next episode when we got time, try to fix these injuries because I love Tyrese Halliburton. His birthday is this weekend. I only really remember that because it is February 29th, which is a leap day. They also brought in Kelly Oubre and Chris Dunn, and it's intriguing to see how Halliburton will play with Zubac when the time comes around. I see Malik Beasley down there, but I don't think anything's too different here for the Pelicans. The Pistons were able to bring back Jalen Duren. They brought in Valanciunas to be a backup. This is Aaron Wiggins here, so it helps their shooting out. But I think they need another star. They also don't have Beef Stew anymore. Where did he go? I don't know. Nothing that different. Toronto, I don't think. I don't even think anything's different. Haha. Houston, I don't think anything's different. I was thinking this. The Rockets should have went after Nickeil Alexander-Walker over Dorian Finney-Smith in this past offseason. I've been thinking that for the longest time, and I was finally able to say it now. They brought back Jeremy Sohan, which is only funny because it's on a bigger deal where they didn't have to do that at all. Vucevic is now in Phoenix to bolster up their center depth. OKC, I don't think anything is that different because they don't have Jalen Williams anymore because he's on our team. Caruso's making a lot of money. So they just kept their roster the same. Anthony Simons on a 5-year deal here is good. So I will help them out and put... You know what? I'm not helping them out. I was going to put freaking Ante at shooting guard. So good on them for getting Simons because they were trying to get as many point guards as they could get. And they got 2 to 3 now. So good on them. The Trailblazers... I don't think anybody is new here. Darius Acuff. They love drafting freaking... They got a lot of freaking point guards here. Bro, That's crazy. That's crazy. So they got decisions to make there. We could help the Warriors out, but we didn't. But they got Marvin Bagley, so we'll see how he does here. Who is this down here? Moses Moody. Washington still have AD. They re-signed Trae Young for a long term. I think they need one more guy. Doesn't have to be that crazy, but it's also kind of they probably need to see what they got first before they go too crazy. Tobias Harris came back, and Ben Simmons. Oh, holy crap! Philly. What the hell? I will admit I did skip over Jarris Walker, where the hell they got the money to bring him in? Oh, because Paul George retired. I forgot. Sorry. Apologies to PG. I feel like they probably should have went after other players, but it's not my decisions. Milwaukee brought in Colin Sexton. I think this is good for him. I want to see Colin Sexton in the playoffs. It's not going to happen this year probably, but I feel like he's too good of a player to not like. He is a playoff competitive player, and he just gets ripped of his chances every year to do that. Granted, he's in Milwaukee, might not be the case here, but at least he made his decision to come here. The Bulls brought in Walker Kessler, which I wish we had the Jazz pick this year and see how that goes. They also brought in Cam Thomas. They had the number 1 pick, got AJ DeBontis. Bulls are back and cooking. Good for them, I guess. Kobe White now on the Cavs. I don't think this would happen because their point guard spot is their non-weak, and Denise Jenkins. So, bit crazy. Their guard, they already had a loaded guard spot. They needed to worry more about, wings and defense. The Celtics didn't do anything that crazy. They brought in Bones Highland on a somewhat cheap deal. They did not. Their center position is back to being weak, but Keita did just win MIP, so maybe he can continue to hold it down. The Clippers brought in Nurkic. They also kind of have a weak center spot rotation right now. And then, bro, we went through all 30 teams just like that. Okay. So, I think this is a great doubleheader. I think the next time around we're going to go through I don't even know. This is a great rotation of games the next time that we're here. I think the next time that we play, I think this is what we're going to do. We're going to stop this video. We're going to have a double header of the rebuilding cycle. I'm going to stop this video. We're going to have a double header of the rebuilding cycle. And then next week, we'll return to our competing cycle. Because I will admit, in the competing cycle, we're just going to finish out that season. I might do what would I do if I traded, I don't know. I don't plan on that series, that side of the brand split, going on for that long. So, I think what we're going to do for this week is to do a double header here. So, I want to stop this video, but for me, I'm going to continue filming. For y'all, you're going to have to wait a couple of days. So, I appreciate y'all for staying for this long because this was a bit of a longer video. I appreciate it, like I said, and I'll see you when I see you because I'm out for now. Goodbye, and stay safe.